Hi there, and welcome to this 53rd live tech Q&A session where you can ask me some tech-related questions and hopefully I'll be able to answer them. And you can post your questions in the YouTube comments and I'll take them up. And I can already see quite a few questions that are here. So let's start this. And the first question actually that I got was from Rahul Krishna. And one second, just give me a second. And he says that Rahul Krishna says, "Good evening, Ranjit. I'm planning to buy either the Zen phone or the Xiaomi Mi 3, but hearing so many complaints about both of them that the Zen phone is having display problems." He says Gorilla Glass broken, and Mi 3 is having the SIM tray issues. What's your opinion about these? Have you faced any of them? Actually, I have all the devices that you're talking about. I have the Zenfone 5. This is the Zenfone 5. I also have the Zenfone 4, and I also have the Xiaomi Mi 3. Let me talk about the Xiaomi Mi 3. I know 5 other people who have the Xiaomi Mi 3, but only out of them one had a SIM tray issue, and he contacted Flipkart, and Flipkart refunded the money. So you shouldn't be too much worried about it because Flipkart is good at refunding money if you have any issues within the first 30 days. And with generally with these electronic devices, you get to know the problems within the first 3-4 days. So I'm not that worried about it. Again, the thing you're reading on online forums, and I'll tell you my experience. I also buy a ton of products from Flipkart. I must have bought about 12 to 15 products till date. But till now, I have just posted about only one review on Flipkart. I haven't posted about my experience with other products because whenever I'm having a good experience with the product, I just don't go to the Flipkart forums and complain. It's only when we have a problem we just go there and complain. So generally it's not reflected to this product, but if you go to any product page, for example, just go for the search for the Samsung Galaxy S5 product page, etc., in forums, and you'll just notice problems because people generally post stuff only when they get problems. When they're happy with the product, they do not post. So I have moving to these both products, I have used both these products now, and in fact the Zenfone 5 is my primary device as of now, and it has been working perfectly, and also the Xiaomi Mi 3 is working great. In fact, the Xiaomi Mi 3 is working brilliantly in my opinion. I simply cannot, in fact, I'm using this as my, what do you say, second main phone, and it is replacing some of my higher end phones that used to cost 40,000, and I'm simply not, what do you say, feeling that it's a cheap phone. The build quality is great and the performance is spectacular. So I'm not that worried about the quality. Yes, we have heard some quality. I don't know if the latest batch of Mi 3s are having that SIM card tray issue. The problem is not with the SIM card, but the thing is it's a little bit hard to take out, and people are just forcing it. It's not going inside, and there some people had an issue. So I hope that info helps. Let me just move to the next question. This is by Tamal Dhara. He says, actually, he has a computer-related question. First, he says, why is it so important to have AHCI mode in motherboards to use SSD? AHCI is the new standard. It's actually pretty old, but I think so. Your motherboard does not support AHCI, then you can simply not use SSD. Also, he says, second question he's asking is, I want to upgrade to SSD, but my old PC motherboard doesn't support AHCI. My PC motherboard supports only old IDE standard. Should I be able to use SSDs with this motherboard? Tamal, no, sadly you won't be able to use SSDs because most of the SSDs use this new SATA interface. The interface is different from the IDE. Also, as your motherboard is very old, it might just support the very old IDE speeds. But for getting the best benefit out of these SSDs, you need actually the SATA 3 interface, which is the actual interface at which this just think out of it as the fat pipe which connects to your motherboard. And sadly, with IDE's transfer speeds are simply not that fast, so SSDs won't work. And in fact, if your motherboard is using IDE, I think so it's very old by now, and I would suggest that it's a good time to upgrade, because IDE was abandoned. Even for example, I have a 6 yeah, about 6-year-old computer, even that does not have ID. On that also we had SATA. So it's time for an upgrade in my opinion. Let's move to the next question. This is by Tushin Saxena. He says, good evening, sir. I want to know how you handle customs when you buy stuff from Amazon.com or such international e-commerce site. Tushin, and a lot of you ask me about this thing. And actually, I do not buy stuff from these Amazon.com or any other external sites. When I do that, yes, I do sometimes buy stuff from Amazon, but I do not ship them. I generally have a lot of friends and relatives who keep on traveling from US. I generally ask them if they are coming to get those products for me. Because these days customs is an issue, and also I had bad experiences with customs. For example, I didn't once one company wanted to send me a product from US, and yes, I told, okay, fine, just send me whatever. And they had made a declaration clearly that this product is not for commercial use, it's for review purposes, and it's a sample. Generally, these products should not be charged custom duties, but I had to pay a heavy custom duty. So again, I just avoid getting products from outside. Even these days, review units are getting, these custom people are just charging. For example, if I recall, that product was just around 70 US dollars, but the custom people charged me about 1900 rupees for that. So I generally just don't buy stuff from outside. People are mistaken. This is by Sukhi Tarji. He says, luckily I got the Xiaomi Mi 3. Its heating issue is too much. Even a voice call of 3 minutes makes it too warm. 5 to 10 minutes of gaming makes it hot as else. What should I do now? I would say, Sukhi, check your Mi 3, because I have been using this Mi 3 now for 25 days and I do not notice that. Even I have the Nexus 5 with me, and the Nexus 5 in fact heats up a lot more than the Mi 3. So check the apps that you're using. I think so some of one of your app is in the background. Also, I heard that I have this enabled. Some people say that if you have the sync enabled, it is causing some issues. So try to disable the sync on this and see if it works. But I haven't faced any major heating with this Mi 3. I have made long, voice calls also about 20 minutes, and I did not notice any overheating issues that you are experiencing. Yes, the back will get a little bit warm on 3G if you're doing browsing, etc. But again, it does not get very hot. In fact, my Nexus 5 does get way a lot hotter compared to the Mi 3. So let me just move to the next question. This is by Ankit Jacob. He says, do you see big smartphone brands like Samsung, Sony, and HTC going down in the near future? He says in entry level and mid-range smartphones because of brands like Xiaomi, etc. Ankit, I don't see a total demise of these big brands. Some people will continue to buy and are pretty brand conscious. But yes, brands like this, for not even Xiaomi, I would say even the Asus Zenfone is offering us a lot more. For example, the kind of performance that we are getting with this Asus Zenfone and even this Xiaomi Mi 3, if you're buying a device from a big brand, you might have to shell out almost 30 to 35,000 to get similar kind of performance. And now people are getting more educated and they are realizing that yes, the Xiaomi and for example Asus, they are not using very cheap parts like MediaTek, etc., and low quality sensors, etc. They're using very high quality sensors. For example, the Xiaomi uses the Snapdragon 800, the Adreno 330 GPU. The camera sensor is from Sony. So people are realizing that, and yes, unless these big brands do some correction with the pricing. For example, just look at the Xperia T3 that was just launched last week. Snapdragon 400 pricing is what, 23,000? Are they nuts? They have to realize. I think so. They will not get sales if they do something like this, and it'll obviously market will correct it. I hope it happens quickly. Let me move to the next question. This is by give me a second, guys. This is by Gaurav. He says, has two questions. First, he says, is there any shelf life for electronic items, cell phone, cameras, laptop, etc., taking the battery into account? What if the phone is with the dealer for a long time before it's actually sold. Generally, they do have a decent shelf life, and if you buy a laptop or even cell phone, etc., you'll notice that it's not fully charged. You can store lithium-ion batteries if for a long period of time if they are around 50 to 60% charge. So yes, it can last, but I would personally not buy an electronic item if it is over 8 or 9 months old. I'll just check the manufacturing date. So I would suggest that buy it from a reputable dealer, or where you see the, whatever online site if you're buying that has a lot of sales. That way you will get a latest product. Second question he asks is, I'm using Chromecast to cast the screen of my LG G2 to my TV. If I play videos even at 1080p, they are very smooth. But even games like Subway Surfer exhibit a lot of lag. The thing is, with just casting a video, it's easier. But when you're doing gaming, and actually, I would suggest that Gaurav, don't try Subway Surfer. The latest updates of Subway Surfer has made that phone a lot laggy. But I haven't tried any latest games via Chromecast. I will definitely give it a try on my Nexus 5 and let you know how it works. But because the thing with the Chromecast is that it is actually casting it from your phone, and it is actually doing tool tasks. So I don't know how Chromecast works while casting very heavy games. I did not give that a try yet. But Subway Surfer is not a good game to test, because I have noticed in some very heavy high-end devices also, with the latest updates of Subway Surfer, it's lagging a bit. This is by Rajat Gaur. He says, you said Mi 3 becomes a bit unresponsive while charging. Is that really a serious issue? No, Rajat, I noticed this issue with even some other devices. When you plug in the charger, the touch sensitivity becomes a little bit haywire. But the moment you remove the charger, it becomes normal. It's not like the phone is totally unresponsive while it's charging, but if you plan to do any gaming or that requires very accurate touches, then it's not a good idea. Second, he says, suggest me an iPad app for accessing files on the PC over Wi-Fi. Actually, I haven't. You can check out my iPhone related videos. In that, I have used an app, third-party app that is compatible with iOS. I just don't recall the name. I think it's File Master or something. Just check out my channel. Just check out my iPhone 5s videos. You'll find that app. This is by Digvijay Singh. He says, if I play high-end games like Asphalt 8 on my Moto G for half an hour continuously, will it affect the battery life for long run? Any gaming on any mobile phone, what do you say, and high-end gaming like that will definitely drain your battery. The only thing is, it will drain the battery pretty quickly. Even if you play just for an hour, you can drain the battery about 30 to 40%. That's the case with almost most of the Android phones. But it will not affect. Yes, your battery life, obviously, you have to charge it a lot more. So yes, if you occasionally do it, it's okay. But again, these days, many of the users, just generally, you just change your phones within 2.5 years. So it should not matter, in my opinion. This is by Tufail. He says, I want to buy a new phone and I'm eagerly waiting for the OnePlus One. Is it worth to wait, or can I go with the Xiaomi Mi 3? What's your suggestion? I haven't fully tested the OnePlus One, but I had it for one day. You can check out the video I made about it, the overview. The phone is very nice. I would say if you like very large screen size phones, then definitely you like the OnePlus One. Personally, I'm not a big fan of very big size phones. I personally, between both of them, I did prefer the Mi 3 because it's slightly more comfortable to use via single hand. But certainly, the OnePlus One has some very impressive features. For example, I really love the feature of having the choice between virtual buttons and the physical buttons. So again, decide what you want. If you are comfortable with larger size phones, then definitely you will love the OnePlus One. Let's just move to next question. That's by Bonnie. He says the Xiaomi Mi 3 was launched in China at rupees 19,500, but sold in India for rupees 14,000. And now Mi 4 is also launched at same price. Do you think what will be the price of the Indian Mi 4? I can't speculate about the Mi 4 pricing because Xiaomi hasn't said anything about it, but I don't think so it will be as aggressive as the pricing that we saw on the Mi 3. Do remember, Mi 3 is the first device by Xiaomi, and they wanted to be very aggressive. So I think so. They had the special pricing of the Mi 3 for India, but now this Xiaomi is selling like hotcakes in India. So I doubt it will be priced around the 14,000 mark. From what I heard, and these are just rumors, guys. It's going to be launched by end of 2014. Anytime November, December, we don't know, something during that time frame. And from what rumors I heard, it will be priced around 18 to 20,000. But again, these are rumors regarding the Mi 14. We'll only know when it launches in India. This is by Abhi. He says, hello Ranjit, is it safe to buy imported phones from eBay? Abhi, the problem with buying phones from eBay is that you are generally getting an international phone. So forget about the warranty. You won't get any warranty with that. Also, if you have an issue with the phone, it is difficult to get it repaired in India. Because many of these, authorized centers, we generally have different variants that we are getting on eBay. For example, let's take the case of Samsung. Many of the Samsung phones that are sold in India, we get the Exynos version, but international, we generally get the Snapdragon version. And if you go to the service center, they might not have the parts to service that Snapdragon variant. So again, it's a risk. I personally do not like to buy imported phones. That's my personal opinion. This is by Dushant. Very peculiar question, I would say. He says, sir, how to manage your personal and professional account like Gmail and Twitter? Just create two accounts. It's very easy. You can have multiple Gmail accounts, and even on your Android phone, you can have multiple Gmail accounts. For example, I have 3 Gmail accounts on my phone. So that way you can differentiate between a professional account and a personal account. I just have one Twitter account, that's Geekyranjit. So I don't like to have multiple Twitter accounts. So again, if you would like, you can create definitely multiple accounts. Second question he says is, I want to build a CPO. I mean, I think so. He's saying that he wants to build a computer, and my budget is around 40,000 rupees. Please suggest me specification. My priority is gaming and video editing. Which processor is better, AMD or Intel? As Dushant, you have said that you will be doing video editing. I would definitely say that go for the Intel Core i5 based one. Go with at least 8 gigs of RAM. And for gaming, I would suggest that go with a dedicated graphic card. In the past 1.5 years, I haven't tested any dedicated graphic card, so I can't give you suggestions. So check out other forms for the graphic card. But definitely, I would suggest the Intel Core i5 rather than AMD, as your needs are video editing. I hope that info helps. This is by Monu. Again, it's a computer-related question. Getting a lot of computer-related questions today. He says nowadays the laptops are having processors of low clock speed. Example, Intel 4th generation Core i5 Haswell are clocked at 1.9 gigahertz and Turbo Boost up to 2.7 gigahertz. But before this, processor used to have a clock speed of 2.5 gigahertz and Turbo Boost up to 3.1 gigahertz. Sir, I want to ask which variant of this processor will be the best for heavy gaming and multitasking? Generally, what you're referring to, Monu, is generally this low-powered processor that is with lower clock speeds are used in ultrabooks and thin and light notebooks. Because these lower clock processors consume a lot less power, which is important for ultrabooks because most of the ultrabooks these days can give you about 6 to 8 hours of battery life. But if ultra light and weight is not a factor, you can go with a traditional notebook which do have higher clocked frequencies. And I definitely feel that, as you told that you also want to do heavy gaming, then definitely instead of these low powered notebooks, definitely go with a regular notebook which has a dedicated graphic card. That will be the best for heavy gaming and multitasking. This is by Dushyant. He says, please confirm the date of iPhone 6 launching. I think so. The event is on 9th September that Apple is doing. So expect the availability. We don't know the Indian availability. Generally, it's always delayed. In US, it should be available after a couple of weeks. People are hinting that within September, it will be available in US. So let's move to the next question. This is by Anmol, and I don't have a clear answer to this question, so maybe any of you can help. He says, good evening, can we make video calls through SIM or on Sony Xperia M2 like on Samsung devices, as there is no such option in the dial-up pad? Yes, Anmol, you are correct. Anmol is referring to 3G video calls, and generally I've noticed apart from Samsung Android devices, as of now, none of those other Android devices do offer 3G video calling, because 3G video calling just did not take up that much, and hardly I have seen anybody using that. So it's not available on any most of the other phones. For example, Sony phones don't have it. Even the Nexus phones don't have it. I haven't had a need of using 3G video calls till now, because most of the people whom I wanted to do video conference or whatever, I just asked them to use Skype or even the Google Hangout, and I could accomplish it via that. But I haven't used a third-party utility that enables 3G video calling. If any of you guys know about 3G video calling via a third-party dialer app, do let us know in the comment section. It will be highly appreciated. This is by Yogesh. He says, suggest me the best phone under rupees 15,000 man. I like to play a lot of games, good battery life, and no stuttering or lagginess. Just blindly go with this Xiaomi Mi 3. There is nothing better as of now at your price point for the requirement. It's an excellent choice. Next, this is by Abdul. He says, installing ROMs like CyanogenMod on my device. He has the HTC Desire 816, it seems. Can it damage my phone or hardware? Abdul, generally installing CyanogenMod, etc. won't damage the hardware, but you might have to unlock the bootloader and also root your device to install custom ROMs. And generally when you do that, some of the custom ROMs do allow you some tweak settings, like you can play with the frequency of the CPU, etc. You can overclock the CPU, etc. And that, if you don't know what you are exactly doing, if you do overclock it like crazy, etc., yes, it can damage your device. And as many of these, mobile manufacturers, if you install custom ROMs, they will not honor the warranty if after installing that custom ROM you have any issues. They generally deny warranty. So make sure what you are doing. This is by I am Sumant. He says, sir, what do you think about the Xperia T3? Is Sony trying to fool people by selling it at that price? And do you think the cost of Samsung HTC flagship will come down in future due to Xiaomi effect? Yeah, definitely. I feel the Sony Xperia T3 is just insanely overpriced. It's priced at 25,000 or so, and it is just having a Qualcomm Snapdragon 400 processor that is used by Moto G, and even the upcoming Xiaomi, I think so, that's called Redmi, that will be sold for about 7,000. So definitely Sony has to think what it's doing, and I do feel that the Xperia T3 is simply overpriced. I was going to review the Xperia T3, but just by seeing its price, I just decided it's not worthwhile to waste my time on that device. So let's move to the next question. This is by Bonnie. He says that Micromax launching Mi 3 clone with Snapdragon 800 at cost of 12 to 13,000. Will it beat the Mi 3? Let them launch and let's see what happens. Next question is this is by Sri Reddy. He says, I want to buy an Android phone under rupees 25,000. Please suggest the best one having good camera and performance. I would say that you can have a look at the HTC Desire 816. It had a good camera, and even the Xiaomi Mi 3. The Xiaomi Mi 3 13 megapixel camera is actually very good. In fact, just check out the video review that I did regarding the camera of the Mi 3. It's pretty impressive, the camera, I would say. So let me just take a small break, and I see a lot of you watching it. I think so 114 of you are live. So if you are live, hit that like button and let's just continue. So hit that like button. Let me just look at the new questions now. Oops. This Aditya asked me, will you be reviewing the iPhone 6? Sorry. Yes, Aditya, I will definitely try to review the iPhone 6, but again, it depends on the pricing. If the pricing is super insane, then I might not get it. This is by Harmish Pandey. He asks us, Asus Zenfone 4, is it a good buy at rupees 6,000? Yes, at 6,000 rupees, definitely the Asus Zenfone 4 is one of the best Android phones that you can get as of now. But again, it's not a perfect phone. If what do you say? You can add one more thousand, that is 7,000 rupees. You can check out the Moto E. But if you are kind of a gamer, primarily do gaming, then definitely the Asus Zenfone 4 is better than Moto E in terms of gaming. But if you don't do any gaming, then I would say the Moto E is a better choice compared to the Asus Zenfone 4. I hope that helps you. This is by Shantan Seth. He says, "Sir, does generic USB game controllers work with on Android devices supporting OTG?" Not all of them. It works with some of them, but it's not universal, I would say. Uh, this is by Sriman Singh. He says, "Hey Ranjit sir, I want to know about One Plus One. Should I go for it or wait for the Moto X Plus One? Thanks." Uh, I would say that we don't know what is going to be offered with the Moto X Plus One. So if you can wait till that time, wait and then decide. Also, the One Plus One is right now not officially available in India, and I heard that it might come. So it'll be interesting to see, and we can compare the pricing also. I don't think so. The Moto X Plus One will again be very aggressively priced. This is by Anthony. He says, which one do you prefer? Alcatel One Touch, Idol X Plus, or the Xiaomi Mi 3? Definitely the Xiaomi Mi 3. Some of you are asking me about the launch dates of OnePlus One. Sorry, I just don't know or have an idea about it. Uh, let's This is a question from it says Pratik. He asks us, is it worth getting the HTC One E8? If you could help me by letting me know about the camera quality and if it has heating problems. Rest, I believe it's all like M8. Pratik, I haven't actually tested the HTC One E8, so cannot comment about any heating issues. The M8 did not heat up that much. It was a very good phone, so I hope the E8 might not have heating issues. But regarding the camera, I just can't comment because it has a 13 megapixel camera. Again, I'm not very sure if I might review the E8. This is by Rias. He says, "Sir, my friends asked me that I think so. His friend is asking him suggestion between the Xiaomi Mi 3, Galaxy Note 2, or the Galaxy Note 3 Neo." I would say if your friend has a specific need for the S Pen, then you can go with the Galaxy Note 3 Neo. But if S Pen is not a priority, definitely I would say the Mi 3 is better. This is by Aditya's. He says, "I want to know what we should buy. What we should." He's framing the question wrong. Sorry, guys. I'll just. I think so. He is asking me, which gaming console should I buy, and why do you have a PS4? Aditya. Earlier, I had both the consoles. That's the Xbox 360 and even the PS3. But now, yes, I have just the PS4, and I have, as of now, I don't have any plans of buying the Xbox One. It's because the game library, some of the games that I like are not on the Xbox One, and also I think so. These gaming consoles are much more important with the people you play. That is the multiplayer part. I just play the multiplayer part of these games. I just don't do the campaigns. And I have a group of my friends, and most of them are on the PS4. So I just prefer PS4. And looks like in this generation, PS4 is more concentrated towards gaming, whereas Microsoft is trying to do a lot more things. And also, so I just prefer the PS4. Again, even the Xbox One now have some very good titles, but again, it depends. I would say ultimately decide where most of your online friends are. If they are on the PS4, get a PS4. If they are on the Xbox One, get an Xbox One. Let me just move to the next question. This is by Pratik Chakrabarti. He says that please suggest me a mid-range Android phone around rupees 10,000 to 12,000. Just definitely, just blindly, just go with this Asus Zenfone 5. Again, but if you're planning to use both the SIMs, then I would not suggest the Zenfone 5, because with two SIMs, the battery life is not that great. But with a single SIM, yeah, it will last you for a working day. If with average users, if you are a heavy user, you will definitely have to charge it in the evenings. Uh, this is by Shubham. Again, a very peculiar question. This is by Shubham Shukla. He says, when are you going to post your videos in 4K like other tech reviewers do? Shubham, I have no plans of posting videos in 4K as of now, because first, I don't have a 4K camera, and the kind of 4K camera that I want is simply too expensive right now. It is a couple of lakhs. So I will not be investing in a 4K camera as of now until the prices of the 4K cameras go down. Also, the problem with Indian audience is that we have really low broadband connections. And I did some statistics, looked at some statistics on YouTube, and most of my audience generally watch the videos at 360 or the 480p. They don't even watch it at 1080p. So what is the point of posting the videos at 4K resolution? Second, he says, what are your thoughts about the Sony RX100 MK3 pocket camera? I haven't used the Sony RX100 Mark III camera, but I have heard very good, reports about that. I have heard, in fact, one of my friend had the RX2, and that is also a fabulous camera. And if you have the budget and you're looking for a point and shoot camera, I think so that's at the top as of now. The pictures that you can get even in the auto mode with the Sony RX2 that I handled were amazing. So even I heard that the RX Mark III has improved that. So definitely, if you have the budget and you're looking for a high-end pocket camera, have a look at the Sony RX100. This is by Anil. He asks, good evening, Ranjit. Does the Mi 3 have overcharge protection? Is it okay to plug in to the charger for a long time? Yes, it does have overcharge protection, because sometimes I just put into a charger and I have high amp chargers and I forget about the phone. They generally get, for example, the Mi 3 actually does get charged pretty quickly. And I have left it for 5-6 hours and nothing happens. So most of these phones these days, they just auto cut off when it reaches 100%. So I'm kind of not worried about it. This is by Mana for Tech. He says, which is the best DSLR camera in the budget of rupees 20,000? Mana, I doubt you will get a DSLR camera for 20,000, because even the entry-level Canon DSLRs are for about 23,000 or so. So you can check out that. Most of the entry DSLR cameras won't record video in 1080p, but they do 720p as far as I know. Again, I'm not well versed with DSLRs because I just don't review them. Second thing he asks is, how can I turn off the on-screen buttons on Moto E? Sorry, that option is not there. And he says, should I buy Micromax Unite 2, as in 7K it gives great specs, even better than the Moto E and Asus Zenfone 4? I would not recommend the Micromax Unite 2 over both those brands, because if you are worried about quality and after-sales service, I simply cannot recommend Micromax. That's my opinion. Let me just move to the next question. Let me just scroll. And now we have 136 people live. It's a record, I think so. Thank you for that. And hit a like button. Again, I don't see a lot of like buttons. So if you are live, hit that like button. So let me move to the next question. Where did it go? Just scrolling and scrolling the questions. This is by Ankit Malik. I don't have a clear-cut answer for this because I haven't tried it. Maybe some of you have tried it. So maybe you can answer it. He says that, sir, I'm using a Nexus 5 16 GB. I want to increase the memory through OTG cable. Which product should I buy? I want 128 GB memory. I don't know if via USB OTG 128 gigs is supported. You can definitely go with something like this. This is a SanDisk USB thumb drive. On one end we have a normal thumb drive, and on the other hand we have the micro USB slot. That way you can just directly connect it to the Nexus 5, but you have to use the Nexus Media Manager on the Nexus 5, and it works. But I doubt, I have actually never tried USB OTG with 128 gig thumb drives. I actually don't have a 128 gig thumb drive. I just have a max of what do you say, with the 32 GB thumb drive. I have tried it. So if any of you have tried it with the 128 gig thumb drive with USB OTG, do let us know in the comments. This is by Shobek Mitra. He says he has ordered the Asus Zenfone 5, failed to book the Xiaomi Mi 3. Is the battery backup very low for general usage? I use phone calls for 2-3 hours and data on 2G. Shobek, definitely in terms of battery life, the Mi 3 is way better compared to the Asus Zenfone 5. I am not a very heavy caller, I would say. I just make about 5-10 minutes of phone calls, but I do use the phone heavily for other tasks like emailing, messaging, tweeting, etc. I would say that with a single SIM, with two SIMs, the battery life on the Zenfone phone is simply not that great. But with a single SIM, from morning, let's say I take it out from the charger at 7:30, by evening at night around 10:30, it is down to about 20%, between 15 to 20%. And in terms of on-screen time, I'm just getting about 2.5 hours of on-screen time. So again, you can decide. If you are a heavy user, then yes, definitely you might have to charge this in the evening at about 5 o'clock or so. Give it a boost charge. One more big con with the Zenfone 5 is that it does take a lot of time to charge compared to the Mi 3. The Mi 3 does charge very quickly compared to the Zenfone 5. Also, if any of you are using the Zenfone 5, have you noticed that charging does take a lot of time? I do notice that the charging times are a bit on the higher end on this Zenfone 5, which is a slight con with this device. So let me move to the next question. This is by Priyankan. He says, my phone is just 4 days old. Should I take a risk to install developer ROMs on my Xiaomi Mi 3? Priyank, it's your device. You have to decide if you are comfortable doing that or not. I simply just don't have the time to install custom ROMs, etc. So personally, I just don't install custom ROMs. And I just often have to keep on changing the phones. So I just don't install custom ROMs because I have to give a review. And by installing custom ROMs, the performance becomes a little bit different. Different. So I generally do not install custom ROMs on the devices that I use. But again, it's your Mi 3. It's up to you. You have to decide. This is by Anirudh Verma. He says, my question is, are you having any info regarding the Moto G getting the Android L update? As I think so. I recall, yeah, Motorola has commented that the Moto X as well as the Moto G will get the Android L update. They did not mention anything about the Moto E. So yes, looks like the Moto G will get the Android L update. Some of you are asking me about Android L official launch. Again, Google hasn't mentioned that, but it should come out, anytime end of this month or by September, according to the rumors. This is by Gaurav Patel. He says, what about the JBL speakers? You haven't done any unboxing of it. Yes, I'm using this JBL Gembi speakers, and I thought none of you might be interested in that. Now it's been over 1 month and it's been working perfectly. and they are good as a, what do you say, desktop computer speaker. They are small, but don't expect what do you say, heavy bass or something like that. But so I'm pretty happy with it because I know the limitations of the device. It's a tiny device and it's been performing well, but again the bass is just not there because it does not have a subwoofer. I hope that info helps. So let me just refresh the questions, and let me just look one second, guys. Just give me a second. Oh. This is by Devansh. He says, kindly suggest the best dual SIM Android phone in Android. Price is not a matter. Is dual SIM in active mode? Devansh, I would suggest that look at Samsung's range of dual SIM Android phones, and they will suit your needs. This is by Harmish. Is there after sales service stations for Mi 3? Yes, Mi 3 has actually 30 service centers across India. But again, these service centers are just in the main cities. They are not in smaller towns, etc. In fact, you can just go to the Flipkart's page. There they have a PDF file which lists all the service centers of the Mi 3. And in fact, I also listed it on the, I made a FAQ video on the Mi 3. You can just check out that video, and in the show notes, I have linked to that PDF file with all the service centers for the Xiaomi Mi 3. This is by this is by Kushar. He says LG G3 versus the HTC One M8. I would prefer the HTC One M8 over the LG G3 because the LG G3, though it's a beautiful device, LG has managed to fit that 5.5-inch 2K screen in that screen size, which is an incredible job, I would say. But in terms of day-to-day usage, I noticed that the LG G3 is a lot more laggy compared to the HTC One M8. The HTC One M8 is a very fluid experience, but that's not the case with the LG G3. Also, in terms of screen brightness, I did notice that the G3 screen is not as bright as compared to the HTC One M8. But definitely, if camera is the highest priority, then you will not like the HTC One M8. And the camera on the LG G3 is way, way, way better. So again, decide which one is better for you. This is by Vishnu Das. He says, I want to build a PC to run 3D Studio Max for interior designing. Which processor should I get? And should I need a graphic card? If yes, which one? Vishnu, I don't use 3D Studio Max, so I can't tell you about the specific graphic card because many of these graphic tools like 3D modeling tools work great with specific brands of graphic card like Quadro, etc. But definitely in terms of the processor, go with the Core i7 and minimum of 8 GB of RAM. I heard that the studios, again, I don't know the models that you are going to use. If they're very heavy models, you might even have to go up to 16 gigs. So check out the 3D Studio Max forums. There you'll get a lot more info. Some people are asking me about internet connections. Again, guys, I don't know about internet connections about across the India. I just live in Hyderabad, and I can just tell you that I'm using the Beam Fiber. They give internet connection over fiber optic, and I'm on a 50 megabit line. But again, I know in many other parts we don't have such high-speed connections, so I can't answer specific questions regarding internet connection in your area. This is by Shivam. Any thoughts on the Moto 360? Moto 360 is the round smartwatch by Motorola. Motorola has teased that it will be launching, they'll be announcing it on September 4th. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. Best Buy just yesterday leaked the pricing by accident. It's going to be priced around $250 US. So it will be interesting to see if Motorola launches that in India and how soon. I am actually pretty excited about the Moto 360, and that is one Android Wear watch that I might buy. This is by Simp Parekh, and he says, hi Ranjit, I'm a student. I'm very much interested in buying Mac. So which one should I buy, Air or Pro? I'm a gamer. Oh God. As you said that you are a gamer, instead of a Mac, I would suggest a Windows PC because Yes, there are now games on the Mac, but the game library is a lot bigger on Windows-based computers. So if gaming is the highest priority, I would definitely prefer a Windows-based gaming laptop computer. But between the Air and the Pro, again, as you have told that gaming is important, definitely I'll go with the MacBook Pro, as some of the models of the MacBook Pro have a dedicated graphic card, which would be much better for gaming. Let's. This is by Arit. He says that please suggest me a smartphone for rupees 7,000. Arit, I would say that at 7,000 rupees, you can have a look at the Moto E and even the Asus Zenfone 4. Both are good choices. In fact, I've already made a what do you say comparison video between the Moto E and the Asus Zenfone 4. So check out that video. I have listed the pros and cons of both the devices, and just watch that video and then make a decision. So those are the two phones for that price point. Um, Let me just let me just scroll down. It's just scrolling questions. Suchit, this is he says, hello. Apart from the heating issues on the Xperia Z2, which is better and fluid, Xperia Z2 or the HTC One M8? I would say the HTC One M8 was one of the most fluid device that I've used in 2014. It is as fluid as the Nexus 5, which is a testament, I would say. But certainly, when I was using the Xperia Z2, I did not notice any major lagginess on the Xperia Z2. But yes, I had that heating issues and the camera app crashing on me quite a few times on the Xperia Z2. This is my Mike Fernandez. He says, which is the best mid-range Android phone according to you? Mike, you haven't set the price point at around 10,000 rupees. I would definitely say that go with the Asus Zenfone 5 8GB variant. At the 10,000 price point, this is the best option. But if you have a slightly higher budget, you can go with the Xiaomi Mi 3. Even phones costing around 25,000 cannot compete with this device. I hope that that answers your question. And it's been over 45 minutes, so I'll be quickly ending this. And this question is from Bhargav. He says, hey Ranjit, is HTC One M8 still your daily driver? No, Bhargav, the HTC One M8 is not my daily driver. I've sold that device. In fact, my daily drivers are the Xiaomi Mi 3 and this Asus Zenfone 5. And to be very frank, the performance of these devices is so good that I don't feel like I have to spend 40,000 or something like that to get a great Android experience. So that's my opinion. I'm pretty happy with these devices. So again, that's it for now for this, 53rd Q&A session. Again, it's been over 45 minutes, guys, and I'm still getting the questions, so simply cannot take all of them. But we will be doing this again next week. That is on Tuesday, 7 p.m. at 7 p.m. India time. So I hope that you'll be able to join me. And if you are watching this live session, hit that like button before you go. Thank you. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.